Welcome back to the Changing Earth podcast with author Sarah F. Hathaway and co-host Chen Gibson, blending survival fiction and fact to bring you entertaining education that will help you dream, survive, and thrive. And now, here's your host, Sarah F. Hathaway and Chen Gibson.
Hello, and welcome back to the Changing Earth podcast. This is episode number 358. Hey, Tim, what's up?
Hey, chin's up.
I think I'm going to have to listen to that intro again because I was like, I don't know if it was me, but it was like, whoa, 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 whoa. So, it could just be me. I was out in the sun a lot today, so.
I know. It's those chutes and ladders that get you every time.
I know. I'm telling you, it was a mean game. I won that game. Thank you very much. Yeah, I did. I got screwed in the
Candy
beginning.
cane land or...
Oh, no. Yeah. Yeah, I'm the candy queen. What's up?
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, I am, dude. I get up there on the mountain. Like, what's up?
That's funny.
So, yeah, I got a whole bunch of stuff done. And I'm trying out this Texas dual season. So we've started planting again, if you can believe that.
I know. What's with that?
I know. Dual season.
Did it finally start cooling?
No. Still hotter than all get-go, man. It's just insanity. But, we got a couple of spits of rain, but we'll see what happens. Europe's looking way worse than we are, so I'm cool. At least we got more AC than they do over there. So, yeah, what have you been up to?
Building stuff. Chopping stuff up. Yeah.
Life on the farm, man. Building stuff and chopping stuff. It happens a lot.
That's it.
I love it. Well, like I told you, we're listening to episode 3 of the audio drama went live today. So everybody got a chance, hopefully, to check that out. Been getting some really great
listened to it on the
feedback.
ride into town.
Did ya?
Yep.
Yeah. How'd you like that show?
It was good.
Good overall impression.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm putting together
I got a thing for one of the voice actresses.
Do ya? I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a hottie.
Yeah. That's why I kept some of the married couples together, I tried. Like, I don't want to cast everybody all over the place. It'd be weird at prepper camp. I'm just saying.
With a real couple, please stand up.
Yeah, that's right. So, and I'm putting together the final episodes right now. I wanted to be done with it before I started airing it, but perfect worlds don't really exist.
Yeah.
So,
of mice and men, right?
Right.
All good plans.
I got people asking for different projects and stuff to get done. So, vacations and real work, which sucks, So, it's epic. Good show. Man, I can't thank everybody enough too for, volunteering their time and whatnot. It comes together so gloriously. So thanks for that, everybody.
It's fun listening. It's a blast.
So, I ordered some new water filters for my Alexapure today because they're already talking water restrictions here, and it's only end of July, So I started thinking, I'm like, my Alexapure hasn't had some water in it for a while. I better get one for the back seat. But while I was over there, they have a metal spigot deal that you can buy for it to upgrade the plastic.
Oh, instead of the plastic one? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Does it have the little viewing window?
No viewing window, no.
Oh, man. That has a little glass cylinder on the front so you can see how much water's in there? I tell you.
No, mine doesn't.
Don't call me a princess or anything, but it's a pain to have to lift it up. It was water, and it'd be nice if it had a little glass cylinder. I've seen it. You ever seen it the big?
Because you don't know how
machine?
full it is. You want an upgrade to it?
Yeah, that's what I want.
Oh, okay. Well, the only thing I like about all the stainless steel is because you could literally use it even if you didn't have the actual filter that comes with it.
Yeah.
You could layer up product in there and be able to use that as a water filter system, even without that filter.
No, we ordered. I think it was, what was it, Black Friday that they had a sale? I forget. There was a sale, and we ordered a bunch.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I was looking at ordering more, but
yeah,
budget and all right now.
Oh, yeah. Tell me something I don't know.
Right? Yeah. It's coming down. So, and everything is in reserve for Prepper Camp.
Yay.
Woo woo. Prepper Camp coming up end of September. So I got to get my book order done. I just realized that. I was like, oh boy.
Oh yeah, to get the boxes.
I know. So
Bring
I can
the
have
boxes.
sets there. Well, I don't have like official box set yet, but I'm thinking of ordering cool tote bags.
What?
Yeah, so that's always a bonus. You buy the book set, you get the tote bag for free.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
So I have to add that to my collection. My shirt, my hat.
Yeah, I don't know. The tote bags are going to be $350 if you don't buy the book set with it. So.
Oh, so you have to buy the book set. You should. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Right. So
well, people got to carry that stuff around anyway. Might as well advertise.
I know, man. I hate to like sell people a whole set, and then I'm like, here's 9 books to carry around. You know, so it's
I have my bag that lunch was served in.
Right? Yeah, exactly. It's just so much nicer. I bring like plastic bags and stuff,
especially when you're an author that writes a quadrillion books.
I know, and the set got really big, so. Yeah.
It's like the kids nowadays that have back problems because they have so many books they have to carry around.
Oh, poor babies. They don't have so many books anymore. They have tablets.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. Yeah, those days are over, dude. Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
Those days are way gone. Where you been?
Not paying attention to news. Yeah. I don't have a kid.
Exactly. So... Well, today we're listening to episode number 3, and I have a bunch of stuff for you guys. So let's get started down the list. And changing Earth news as well. Crazy stuff going on. Beautiful images coming. I mean, I tend to dig. I mean, so yeah, there's been some really...
Got your NETJ coming out with that statement.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't mean it to sound like that. It was just like some of the sandstorms that whipped up.
This whip makes such a beautiful mark on that flesh.
No, shut it. That's not true. There's a difference between looking at like cool weather stuff, like, and that kind of thing. I don't know who.
The wife was just watching something about tsunami buoys going off, and
right, yeah.
Before I came in here,
not Indonesia.
Like,
Indonesia.
Oh no, Nova Scotia. I mean, off of Canada.
Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia. Yeah.
You got to say it like Nova Scotia.
Isn't that Fargo?
We're going to Nova Scotia. There's been some crazy stuff going on up there. I had to look up this one place for this earthquake that hit this week, and I was like, where the heck is that? Up there in the Greenland area. So very interesting things afoot up there. All right, so let's get into the show. Erica's first chapter, or I don't know what to call it, her first act today, her first scene. They're bringing the cat back in, the dead cat, the mountain lion.
Mountain lion. Yeah, it's not like the house cat.
Yeah, no.
like everybody gets a claw.
Everybody gets a claw, which is... So I mean that'd be cool. Necklace, like if I'm gonna like
charm on your necklace. Yeah.
Exactly. If I'm gonna have to take a mountain lion out, you can bet I'm gonna have one of its claws, dude. That'd be sick.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
With a stick.
On a stick. So Jen, like what a confidence builder for for somebody who just like been through what she was through. And we've done a lot of research on recovering from, traumatic incidences and abusive things like that. And the rebuilding of confidence is absolutely essential. So that's really one of the reasons why I wanted to kind of give her that story, Mm-hmm. And then there's the Brett thing where he's trying to, you got to do this and you got to do that. And so it just got me kind of thinking about like how men's chivalry was kind of like seen as like woman bashing almost. So then like chivalry kind of died because you don't want to like think less of the woman or whatever. So I just kind of, there's no opinion on that. It's just kind of a reflection on, I don't think, men want to like say that you're weak or anything like that, but they like to help out. So that's okay too, right?
Can't win.
I know.
We can't win.
You just can't. You just can't. You got to just know your partner and like what they like and go with that. That's it. Because there's going to be so many different opinions on that. Oh, the importance of medics and doctors in the community. I mean, just incidents after incident will just show you that. And you can reflect in real life on, the importance of having the medical facilities in our communities and things like that. And thank God for Dr. Bones and Nurse Amy, putting together all the work that they do to provide us with resources to go into emergency medical situation. Although I was watching this Glenn Beck show this one time, and he's like, my wife and I bought the surgery kit, and then we looked at each other like, who's doing the surgery? Right? And I started thinking about that too, and I was like, hold still, babe. I'm just going to cut you open here. We're going to take the appendix out, like.
Here's a bottle. Drink up.
Whoa.
Be cutting shortly.
So I think having somebody trained to do that is going to be like of the utmost importance. Yeah. Yeah. So definitely somebody should be involved there. I did get my EMT training, but it was, a lot of years ago. So I probably could use some brush up myself. And that's basically doing like what Kevin always told us. Well, you just stabilize them until you get to medical.
Bring them to the hospital.
Yes, you stabilize them until you get them to the hospital. Well, what if you can't go to the hospital,
Yeah.
Yeah. I also was thinking about in this chapter about how like gossip could just like uncontrolled, because there's no like central news database at this point.
Well, that's like social media, right?
That's life,
Isn't that like,
right? Isn't that just life? The women, the Bettys back in the 1800s, like, spreading all the gossip around and things like that. So I think that's just all of human existence pretty much.
Yeah.
Because who says that the news is news? Is it just gossip? And then supplies for the community, right? With no resupply coming to your community. That's a big problem. Big problem for many, 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 many communities across the United States.
With every natural disaster, right?
Right? Yeah, but that's the
all
kind
the
of
towns
situation.
along the coast that have issues. There's the forest fires that have issues.
Right.
I mean, you're kind of like,
But people, we can rally to them right now. But imagine like disaster on such a scale that you couldn't rally in anymore. Yeah. Now you got a big problem, right? So Swenson's first scene, he's having some fun in the morning and is upset that Laudner's already there. And then there's kind of the play that goes on with Teresa, which is amusing, how he's like, quit interrupting me. And she's like, oh, well, I don't mean to interrupt, but, Laudner gets such a kick out of that. Dale plays Laudner. Like, dude, you can't stop playing Laudner. You're Laudner now.
No, that's good.
Yeah, so he does a good job. But he gets the offer from Rutherford to come and help the community. So it really got me into thinking, okay, so say your community can produce something. Well, then now we're back to like bartering with other communities and, doing like that kind of like more like the Native Americans used to, where you're like, well, we can grow tomatoes. And they're like, well, we have cows. And then you guys trade for stuff, right? So that's going to be important. What can your community really do? And then how important intelligence analysis is going to be, for safety of your community, for defense, that kind of thing. And of course,
Big John.
Yeah, right? Yeah, when he comes. So of course that always gets me thinking though, like about Samuel Culper. I don't know if he's going by his actual name now. I think so. But anyway, Forward Observer and their work that they do. Yeah, it really got me thinking about them and all the great programs that they offer. Is he coming to prepper camp this year?
I don't think so.
I was
He
thinking,
hasn't come. Yeah, he hasn't come in a while.
no, he hasn't been there the last 2 years because I haven't got to meet him yet.
Yeah. Don't take it personal.
I know. I'm thinking just like I'm the only like person from Texas that's going to be there.
Represent.
Yeah, represent. I'm trying to find like maybe carpool caravan. I mean, Ellen's already going to be caravanning with us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So.
Well, you go far and wide to find somebody to ride with you.
That's right. That's right. She's driving her own car, man. Yeah, she's renting a car. I know.
Huh.
I know. She's hardcore. Ellen, what up? All right. So in Burgess's story, they're returning home. And Burgess is like jealous of Bennett's ability to just like blindly follow orders. He's like,
oh, yeah.
Right. Why the hell does my conscience keep getting in the way kind of thing?
He's not jealous. He's just bullshitting.
Well, yeah, but
pardon my French.
You know, he's like, how come, you know,
it'd be nice to be able to just like blindly follow.
Exactly. Be able to turn off like the ethical compass for a minute.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So this got me thinking because they're talking a lot about the government's response. And I wanted to take a moment and just kind of dig into the emergency parameters, what, you know, because this has been on the table in life right now. And there was actually an article that Glenn Beck was talking about in the Atlantic when Trump was president. And they were all worried that Trump was going to enact these emergency orders and that it can overrule the Constitution. They can institute martial law, suspend habeas corpus. It revokes U.S. passports, all kinds of stuff that these orders, they're called presidential emergency directives. And so I guess when the president's elected, they sit down and talk about, you know, certain issues that could come up that if it was an emergency situation, the president wouldn't have time to think of the orders and put them to motion, right? So there wouldn't be enough time. So they have these things pre-written. They just don't have signatures on them yet. And nobody knows what they say because they don't have signatures on them yet. So they basically don't exist. So Glenn did this article, The Dangerous Powers Biden Might Have Under a Climate Emergency, talking about these PEDs, they're called, and how it gives the president like 140 special powers. And the Atlantic did this article because they were all worried about Trump. But if you just replace Trump with Biden and you replace Israel with Russia, I mean, it would be exactly applicable to what we're in right now. And so since they don't really know what's on these things, they've never been like publicly, they don't usually like share them with the public or anything like that because it's a national security. But some from like the 50s to 70s have been shared. And that's what's written into them is the declaration of martial law, the suspension of habeas corpus, the revocation of the U.S. passports, the roundup and detention of subversive, so your political enemies, basically, or people who are against certain things. So this is from an FBI watch list that the FBI has been keeping ever since the 50s and 70s. And so the big fear is like, that's a pretty wide open box that you can just arrest anybody for not seeing things the way that you do, basically. And then with habeas corpus gone, there's no trial, no hearing. It's just the way it is. This can also give them control over the internet resources to control media, like they already are grabbing for. So very scary stuff. And then there's also, I reported on this like years ago when we were doing the podcast for Walls of Freedom. Mm-hmm. And I had L. Douglas Hogan on the show, and we were talking about the executive orders that are in place for a national emergency. So once they declare this is a national emergency, you know, we're putting these executive orders into action. Executive Order 13603, the National Resource Defense Preparedness Act. This was enacted in 2012 by Obama. And it takes like all of the previous executive orders that had to do with national disaster parameters and combines them into one order. So basically, once this is enacted, they can seize all water, all human and animal food, all transportation, all energy, all construction materials, all health resources, farm equipment, fertilizers, fuels, manpower, housing. So this is all on the standby. That's why no matter who is president at whatever time, if they're going to be declaring something a national emergency, it's not just words coming out of their mouth. It is a huge deal that gives government a lot of power over all of the resources of the United States, and including the people, which can be a very, very scary thing. So no matter who, this one's kind of got to be on our watch list. We need to listen for this being thrown around within the political spectrum, because this is much deeper than most people understand. So really, no matter who is in office, this has got to be a serious, serious thing. And the other point that Doug had made that day was that executive orders aren't authorized by the Constitution. And they're not Congress approved. They were originally used to make decisions while Congress was out of session, and was basically just a temporary decision until Congress could decide on the issue. So this is a big problem that now they're using them like they're the kings of the country, which we don't have a king. That's why we have three branches, to make sure things are even.
Theoretically.
You know, well, exactly. We shouldn't have a king.
Yeah.
So another piece to that National Resource Defense Preparedness Act is that the FEMA board takes control along with the executive branch. So basically, my books are this is what my books are about, right? Is that this type of situation happens. And so hearing from people within Homeland Security and things like that, you know, a lot of the fictional things that I just dreamed up, you know, a lot of the things could actually happen. That's a little bit spooky. And then to hear them throwing that around as well is just even more scary. So keep your guys' ears open. These are not just, you know, buzzwords that they're throwing around. This has some serious repercussions for our everyday lives. Alrighty. So now, if I haven't spooked you enough. So Monroe makes the statement, you know, if refugees were left on their own, they would just trounce everybody else, you know. So that's really the setup of the game at this point, is like, if we had a big disaster like that, we'd have people who still own land and people who are displaced.
Displaced, yeah.
Right? So what do you do with all these displaced people? And we're kind of dealing with that in our world right now. I mean, look at Haiti. Like, those poor people there get hit like earthquake, tidal waves. You know, it's just relentless on that little island. And why would you want to stay there if you could leave? You know, to be at some place where you, like, it's like, how long do you keep rebuilding an area that's just getting destroyed and destroyed and destroyed, right?
Right.
So we're going to have to take a serious look at this. There's going to be some people movement with the earth, with the changes the earth is experiencing. So kind of be a cool idea to have a plan in place for that kind of thing. But we don't do that. We don't plan ahead.
You were talking about Culper, and one of his podcasts this last week was talking about how part of Russia's game plan is they displace people out of their country, so they go to other countries and disrupt that country. So like all the immigrant influx kind of creates havoc in a country as they're, you know, these people, you know, like the war
weakens them anyway.
Yeah. So it's kind of like dual benefit for the person.
Yeah, that they no longer have those people there. Plus, they're disrupting the neighboring country because they're all like pouring in there.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I thought that was interesting. Yeah.
Right. And we saw the whole problem in Europe and everything because of all like the migration and whatnot. So it's definitely issues we're going to have to think about. All right. In Erica's second act, communications. Chin, your character is the communications guy. Go figure.
Gee, wonder why. How's your radio working?
Oh, yeah. It's going really good. So, in the story, they can't find...
Don't change the subject.
Yep. Subject change. So, in the story, they can't find any signals. So, literally, California has been, like, silenced, right? Because they don't know what to do with this many displaced people. So, best to just let the cards kind of lay as they are, I guess. But that was the game plan. And the kids are trying to help. They're trying to feel a place, So even the little members of our society, we got to make sure that, disaster on any scale affects everybody. So don't forget about that. The news traveling by word of mouth. So even in this situation, like leadership is trying to temper the message, right? So that people will respond in a certain way. So, yeah. And then with the Earth on the move, things could rapidly change, and it's happened on our planet before. We have areas of the coastline that were once at a certain elevation. Now they're at this elevation, and we can tell because of like petrified trees and things like that, that it happened in the past pretty rapidly. So just because it hasn't happened in our lifetime definitely doesn't mean that it's not going to happen at all. Did you get me back?
I did. I'm back now. You're back now.
All right. Yeah. Yep. You started ringing on me. All right. So, yeah, I was just talking about like the different how geography could rapidly change, and then that'll be something that we need to kind of deal with. And while you're dealing with it, you're trying to feed yourself. And so that's why it's good to have a wide array of things that you know about that you can eat in different climates. All right, Swenson's second chapter, he is training. This is all about his training. And self-defense is so important, guys. You got to be self-defense ready. I understand it's hard to like motivate yourself to keep practicing, especially when it's 110 out and you usually work out outside or it's like storming or whatever. But there's really no excuse for not, keeping your body in shape, staying strong, and then practice. So, it's better to know like 5 or 6 moves really, really well than it is to know a whole bunch of them not that well. So just start with one, kind of like when you learn how to wild forage, you start with one plant, then kind of really learn everything about it. Well, it's the same thing when you're learning self-defense. Start with one aspect, one move, and then learn everything about it. And then keep practicing. I'm kicking my own butt right now a little bit too, because I've been a little bit slack. But it's hot. It is hot. So,
oh, tell me about it.
Yeah. So it's
holy crap.
Yeah, it's like, okay, either I'm footing for a gym membership or, I go on my evening walks. We're walking like 3 miles a night, when we do that. But I'm just not doing the amount of like boxing practice and kicking practice and all that just because it's so hot. And I blew through both pairs of my shoes too, like both of my martial arts shoes. So yeah, I'm having some issues. So you can join my website at www.changeiteraseries.com. Become a member. Help me get some new Taekwondo shoes. It'd be much appreciated. Okay. Let's see. Where are we at? So, okay. And then he talks about using your opponent's own fury against them. And let me tell you.
Use your head.
Yeah. Use your head. I love how Doug even laughed at that one. He thought it was so funny. He's like, yeah, that's awesome.
He's the perfect TJ, though.
Right? I know. Such the I can't really hear TJ in any other voice now.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, using your opponent's own fury against them, trust me, as somebody who's 5'0" 100 this is exactly what you have to do. And as you get older, and you're up against a younger opponent, like, you need to learn how to use that against them to bend with their motion and move with them so that you can counterattack that, or else you don't really have too much of a prayer besides hitting some strategic locations that'll put him down pretty quick. So learn, keep learning, reach out. I'll help you out. The scout reports come in, chemical contamination. I can't, say enough about this. Like, you got to know your area. One of my friends just moved, and her husband is becoming a law enforcement officer. So he got to tour the nuclear waste facility storage. And I was like, what? Where is that in relation to your house? A. And she's like, well, I'm far enough away, right? And I'm like, well, which way does the wind blow?
B.
Right? She's like, oh, well, it blows in right from there to there. I'm like, well, then your game plan is get the hell out of there as fast as possible if power is down for any kind of extended period of time.
Right.
There's no bug in option for you anymore.
Nope.
So these things are just critically important to know. And then there's also a lot of chemicals that move along like railroad routes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You always hear about those train derailments, right?
Right.
Chlorine and all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm. So it's good to know what's traveling on the railways by your house and then what's going on with that. They did that huge nuclear storage right outside of Las Vegas. And so much nuclear waste goes by Las Vegas on rail. It's just insane. So,
good thing it's not a populated area.
Yeah, I know, right? Good thing. And then your community, the defensive force for your community is going to be really, really important. Make sure you're thinking about that and get ready. People that you trust, kind of deal. All right, Virgis is back to his house. Situational awareness. Ding, ding, ding. Look for small changes.
Uh-huh.
Right? It can equal a big problem. So be aware of your environment. Know what things are supposed to look like. And when they don't look right, trust your instincts.
Mm-hmm. Trust the gut feeling?
Yes, for sure. For sure. I always I'll even leave some things in certain areas on purpose just to see if somebody came through or whatever. So I do it for myself as a exercise for myself, but tricking my kids or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. You got to practice. So they're my guinea pigs. All right, so William Baker visits, and he is fighting for the people's rights. And he's trying to do it legally, but he wants Virgis back so he can get intel from the mercenary forces. Mm-hmm. Talks about the homesteads, and how the sickness hit them hard. So pretty soon I'm going to be getting the JACO pack, the med pack. So, I'm going to do a blog and a write-up on that.
For the network. Yeah.
Yeah. And exactly, new sponsor for the network. So I can't wait to share with you guys what that looks like. I'm super stoked to be able to get my hands on some and, have that for the rainy day, have that option. Plus, made in America. So these are antibiotics that, you don't have to buy fish antibiotics. You can actually get your hands on antibiotics that you can use for that rainy day when you might not have access to it. So all made in America, great company, JACO, and I can't remember, it's called the JACO Med. I don't know. I don't want to slaughter it. So
I remember seeing the.
Yeah, I'm going to, like I said, I'll have a blog on it and let you guys know what that all looks like. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But good thing to have on hand. Have your medics. Have your survival medicine handbook. You know, have as much knowledge as you can when it comes to medical stuff. That is going to be the roughest. People say now, like, we're more exposed to death and whatnot because we watch movies about it. Mm-hmm. I would have begged to differ. I mean, back in the day, like my mom talks about, you know, you had 12 friends on the street and then 3 of them would die of scarlet fever or something like that, you know?
Right. And they had their hands were in it.
Yeah. I mean, like that, you are experiencing it. That's not what we have nowadays. And I think that we're very much less exposed to real life situations where people are dying in mad numbers, you know. We do a pretty good job in America, even though our system's kind of screwed up medically. But we got some really intelligent doctors out there that do some incredible work and save a lot of lives. And when we're in a disaster scenario like that would hit the whole country, that's not going to be the case. And we're going to have to prepare for some different outcomes than what we're used to. So that sounds great. Everybody just stay in really good health. Right? Do your best. Do your best. All right, Erica's final act. They are out of California. They are leaving. They don't trust it. They don't want to stay there. The community doesn't have enough supplies to support this many people. So basically, somebody's got to go. And it made me think about, like, there probably would be some nomadic communities, you know? If we had, like, a major collapse like that, like, people... I'm not saying they're all nice, you know, maybe they just go from town to town, like grabbing up other people's stuff. So, kind of something cool to think about that I haven't thought about very much before. Maybe we should do like some research on, like, in other countries, if there's still like big time nomadic communities, or has everybody in the whole world kind of settled down? I don't think so. I think over in the desert, there's still nomadic communities. So the USA doesn't have too many abandoned cities, but a changing Earth may change a lot of that. So one of the things, that's all that was on my mind when we drove into Las Vegas this last time. Oh, you're back. You're there. Okay. Were you there all the whole time?
I was.
Oh.
You didn't hear me?
No. I didn't hear you. Were you muted?
I must have been. Who knows?
Yeah, you're muting.
I was talking.
Because you're over there.
Because you didn't pay attention to me.
Because you're over there chatting it up with Garden Girl in the in the live feed.
I was posting it's the Jace case.
Yeah, the Jace case. That's it. Yes, sir.
I was doing my job.
Yes, sir. All right. I'll give you a pass this one time.
But I was saying van life was kind of like the transient life, but it's kind of starting to figure out. The van life craze was like all about just like...
That's true.
You know,
Grateful Dead followers.
Yeah. Not
Deadheads.
The Volkswagen.
Yeah.
Not the Volkswagen.
Yeah.
It's more like the Mercedes van now.
Yeah, I guess. Whatever. If you want to go all yuppie, like, whatever.
Yeah, you saw my van life.
Yeah.
It's an old diesel pickup truck.
Yeah, mine was going to be a tarp if I wouldn't have gotten the truck, if I would have got the van that year. Oh, man. So, we don't have very many cities that are, like, ruins of what was. Right. But it's like in Europe, it's all over, you know, where they've been building cities longer. And I think that we're going to see some of those in the future. The Hoover Dam's a major concern. It's producing less and less power, and the water is just going. So,
what about Detroit? They kind of had you see pictures of that.
That's true. My family was deep in Detroit.
Yeah.
Had one of the biggest car dealerships there. Yeah.
No, mine worked for the factories. So.
Okay, yeah, and then we just kind of all scattered to the wind.
Yeah.
And you meet a lot of people around the country from Michigan. We really did kind of go nomadic. And now they're rebuilding the city.
Yeah, so. We went the wife had a business trip up there years ago, and we went up and stayed right in Detroit. And I was like, "Oh, let's go." So I went along, and even then, it was just on the verge of starting to feel like a collapse, and it didn't feel comfortable walking around at night. That's
No.
for sure. Yeah.
No, you didn't just walk around Detroit. That
Yeah.
was so so also moving with large groups, you know, like you got the elderly, the young, women with children, animals, horses, wild animals that are displaced too. So I mean, these are all like huge considerations that so many moving parts. Okay, we got to finish this one up. All right, so Swenson in his third, he's going to get the rebels. We got the big fight scene. My son loved doing the voice for this character, the rebel commander. He was so cute. And then but my big point is like if somebody has military experience, and especially like not just somebody who was in for 4 years and then jumped out, you know, people that have been in the military and whatnot, they're going to have a much broader range of military experience, obviously. So trust their expertise to how to, you know, defend the place, how to go in properly. I've picked the brains of lots of people that spend a lot of time in the military to just learn how to move as a unit, how to do all that kind of stuff, playing airsoft. And it's really, really useful. A lot less people in your group get shot. So I would recommend that.
Yeah. There's a lot to think about.
Right?
It's yeah.
Yeah. It's really creepy. And I mean, when you're just shooting an airsoft rifle versus, you know, a real bullet coming at you, I can imagine that the anxiety level is quite a bit higher. So the other thing I was thinking about was how he did the sleight of hand in his battle. Like he kind of, you know, gave the impression that they were going to come in from behind, but he came in the front, right? And everybody's like, oh, just one guy. But it's TJ Swenson coming in your front door, you know. So one of my favorite stories is from World War II. There was this guy, I believe his name was Masculine. That's how I always remember it. And he was a magician that the British put to work for them. And he actually created a false force out of cardboard. Like cardboard tanks and stuff.
Tanks and stuff. Yeah, I heard about that.
And then he also did like strobe lighting over the Panama Canal. Yeah. So when the planes tried to fly in on it, like the strobe lights were just messing with their vision and they couldn't bomb the Panama Canal because they didn't have like all the electronics and stuff that they have now. So all kinds of things can be successful, you know. Don't pigeonhole yourself in a box, you know. Do the unexpected.
Save those cardboard boxes.
Yeah, like you can put like little cutouts in your window or something, you know. I guess. I don't know, but that would definitely provide that like, oh, look over here, right?
Yeah.
So, William's legal fight, you know, really got me thinking about like, who can you support? And then don't try and overdo it. Like James always says, you know, there's so many things you can throw your energy behind. That it's almost a problem because there's so many things and so many people fighting the battle on so many fronts that if we could unite around like some of the major causes, we'd have a bigger effect on it, right? So kind of pick your objective and go for it. Some of the quotes from this section are definitely going to be in my quote area. You know, just knowing about injustice and not doing anything about it is just as bad as doing it yourself. That's Charles Ingalls right there, you know, from Little House on the Prairie. And I always think about that one. You know, that's kind of a good philosophy for life. If you don't like what somebody's doing and you know it's wrong and you know, you're not an active participant maybe, but you know about it and you're still allowing it to happen, then aren't you just as guilty as a person who's doing it, you know? And we can apply a lot of that it would be good for our society to start thinking a little bit more that way.
Right.
right? And then, total collapse like that. I don't envy Burgess's position at all. It's like, do you help the government control the chaos? Or do you stand and fight that system? When you know that like so many people need help and stuff. So he's kind of stuck in a rock and a hard spot there. Thanks guys very much for joining us. As soon as I get that give me the name again. The Jace case.
Jace
case. As soon as I get the Jace case in, I'm going to be doing a little presentation on that to show you guys how that works. And what else we got going on? We got Prepper Camp coming up end of September. So that is the big event on the screen. And other than that, we got the audio drama rolling. And we're happy campers. So check it out. ChangingEarthSeries.com. And until next time, remember, dream,
survive,
thrive.